Welcome to this week's episode of Echoes of Cyber Freedom. I'm your brother, L. Cruz, internationally self-renowned, reclaimed cyber coach, spreading cyber love and wisdom across the globe, one bite at a time. I told you I was getting a little better, but it still needs a little work as far as the opening. But I'm glad to have you all, or to be here with everyone in this glorious day of this universe, in our day of the Lord, in this beautiful October fall. And I said a lot because that's how I was thinking it. Because pretty much fall is upon us. We have Halloween, which is awesome. I love Halloween, but we have been getting a decline in kids over the years. And now, really, this year, we want to just hang out and pass candy. My kids are a lot older this year, so we don't want to walk around anymore, wear costumes and walk around. We rather just wear costumes and hang out in front of our house and give candy out, right? Give it out. Because that's what my kids want to do as well. They feel they don't want to walk around anymore, and I'm with them. But in that same note, we have also somebody joined, so appreciate you coming and hanging out with us in this episode of Echoes of Cyber Freedom. We're just talking about Halloween and how this year we plan on getting dressed up and probably just having a fire in our driveway and handing out candy or harassing people. But we don't see anybody out there anymore. As the years went by, we started noticing less and less kids coming knocking on our door or getting some of that deliciousness. So I don't know what's going on. I think everybody should get out there, hang out, love their neighbor, pass out candy, show love, and just be grateful to be alive, really, for this Halloween. That's how I see it. Anyways, we have another meeting recording for the Echoes of Cyber Freedom, for our Cyber Freedom Fighters International Cyber Coaching Community, where we help people level up in cyber life and get new jobs, or maybe you want to start a career, or maybe you have a business and you want to integrate cyber systems to do work better, faster, to make more money and success and all those good things. Then you've come to the right spot, because this is what we're going to be talking about. And today is specifically carved out for cybersecurity. However, we talk about everything because everything is interrelated in some way or another. And we can't talk about cyber without talking about security. You can't talk about cyber without talking about technology. And the same thing, you can't talk about cyber without talking about mindset, like people, because all those things make the cyber world go round. But today, in this week, we're going to be focused on security. And what I've been doing is for our community, I wanted to open it up to them as well and record these things live. So this is like a AMA, Ask Me Anything type session that we'll do in the beginning. And I will just answer questions from our community members that may be popping in and out of this live feed. And then after that, we can talk about anything else to share tips and tricks, or maybe I'll take a question and blow it out a little more to provide you more value, because that's what we're here for. At least that's why I'm here. I want to provide value to you, and not only just a little value, I want to provide mega value so that you can transform your life. And if you can transform your life and unlock your superpower, then I'm happy, because you're just going to be flying around here or doing whatever you want as a superhero. And that's going to be a beautiful thing. And we can together be together on that journey and help each other out, right? Because I also have coaches and mentors that I look to and that I meet with on a weekly basis so that we can help each other out because we're all at different levels of life, I feel, especially cyber life. So when we can collaborate as a community, Cyber Freedom Fighters community, or with my mentors or coaches, then it's always a great day because I can ask them the tough questions and they can shoot to me straight the way it is. No fluff, no BS. Because we know in cyber life right now, there's a lot of BS, there's a lot of jargon floating around there, and there's a lot of things that are being said. For instance, you need a college degree in order to get a job in cyber, which is false. You don't. You don't need a college degree. You just need to know how to do something like a high income skill set. If you have a high income skill set, which is what we focus on for our cyber freedom fighters, we like to understand, all right, so what are you doing right now? What do you want to do? What's your future goals? What does that dream life look like for you? And I like to use cyber to help make that dream come true for you. And really, that's all we're here. I like using cyber is more as a catalyst to help people do things faster, better, so that we're not wasting our time doing the mundane stuff, the reoccurring things. It's like when artificial intelligence and robots inside robots become more and more of a thing because they are a thing right now. However, the green light is not fully there to integrate artificial intelligence into a robot and let them do whatever the heck they want based on their programming, right? But anyways, you can do that with cyber. You can use it as a catalyst. However, the flip side of that is you also use it to do bad stuff, right? Not just cyber criminals and doing all these things that we know and love, hacking, stealing people's data, money, all that good stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the threat that we don't see before our eyes, like social media. Social media is great. However, used in a negative way, you get locked in, you get manipulated, you get brainwashed, you get whatever negative feeling insert there by you watching social media so much. It's not good for you. You want to let or provide yourself some time to realize who you are. And if you're always in social media, then you can't do that. You can't allow yourself to be creative or to be yourself if you're constantly in a different or stuck in a different world. And I feel that's what social media is doing a lot to not only your kids, but to everybody, even grown adults. My mom, she plays Candy Crush and she loves it. She loves being on Facebook. She loves posting random things, thoughts that are just random, which is nothing wrong with that. Live it. Live your best life. But at some point, you can't be so connected to that world that you lose your sense of identity. And I feel that happens a lot in cyber. So cyber is a double-edged sword. On one side, you can do great things with it and really unlock your time and unlock yourself as a human being. And on the other side, you can really just go down this path, this dark, negative path of just blah. I know we all been there. We all been there. And that's something that, I like to focus on. That's why cyber mindset is a thing that I love talking about. And if you want to talk about that, or if you got any questions about that, then yeah, feel free to drop any questions. This is the beginning of this. It's just AMA. Just ask me anything, and we'll go from there. So we got some people on here. I see some chat going in there. I see some questions coming out. So I love that too. So I appreciate it. And really, mindset is that thing to make or break you. Let's see what kind of questions we got. I have no experience in cybersecurity. Where do I start? That's an actual question I get all the time. I get that question all the time. I have no cybersecurity experience. Where do I start? Well, you start with yourself. But I mean, that one really is like a two part question because I really want to know, or I really want to make sure that you are okay. Excuse me. All right, man. I had a cough. All right, I got some drinks now, so I'm good. I do feel a sneeze coming on, so if I go dark again, nobody has kidnapped me. Those three-letter agencies has not kidnapped me. They could try though. I'll be waiting for them. But anyways, I am back. My voice is good, so thank you. So back to cybersecurity, having no experience, and it being a two-part question for me, because for me, I want to make sure that you're okay, meaning you have money coming in. And this is something that I work with a lot of people on. It's like, yeah, I'm struggling. I want to jump in the field. I want to make a career change, or maybe I'm a younger person and I have no degrees, I have no experience, but I just want to do something in cybersecurity. Great, not a problem. Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all, really. And that's a great problem to have. But what I want you to think about now is, are you okay? Are you struggling financially? Because if you're struggling financially, then I want that to be your focus. Meaning, if you need money, then do something to make you money. And the best way to do this, Alex Hormozy, I just saw a tweet from him to come out today where he was talking about that same thing. Alex Hormozy, he owns acquisitions.com. He's a big international business coach as well, but he focuses on business. And he's always talking about that. He's always talking about that one. I'm trying to find the post here, but I probably won't find a post, about that. Let's see if I can. That'll be cool. Let's see. Do. Let me see here. I'll tell you. I actually want to read it to you because it was powerful, and I know it's gonna click as well when you hear it. So let me go into my feed. Somebody just dropped this over to me today, and he was talking about. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Come on. Where are you? Anyways, I don't think I'll be able to find it. Boo. Anyways, he was saying the same thing. Pretty much, he said, "Do something that makes you money. Do something that sells. Do If you don't have anything to sell and you need money, well, then sell something that people are already buying." And you might hear that and be like, "Whoa!" Right? And it's true. If you are hurting for money, for cash flow, if you want more cash flow to make ends meet or whatever it may be, then you need to figure out what everybody is selling and then sell that. Which means that if you can get a car or if you can get a job, right, selling cars, then do that, right? Just do that. If that's enough to make ends meet for you, then do that. If you need to get a job as, laying concrete, if you need a job as anything, maybe a data entry, man, that's old school job. But we had that in cyber way back when data was becoming a thing, right? We had to take all this massive amount of data. We had archaic computer systems, and somebody had to sit there and enter that data into the system, data entry. Now we're good. We just throw it on a spreadsheet, upload it, whatever. AI create stuff, grab stuff, put it on a website. Like we're good. Data entry, we're good. But that's what he was talking about. He was talking about that if you need something, if you're struggling and you need to make money, well, then go make money. And that could be anything. And there's so many ways to make money right now that is out there, right? Like there's plenty of jobs out there. There's plenty of things to do to make money. So if you need money, then go eliminate that equation or go eliminate that from your equation. And What happens is once you are good to go, first you got to figure out like, all right, how much money do I need in order to be okay? To say I'm good, I'm comfortable. Right? You want to get there. Maybe it's that job that you hate, and you're like, man, I gotta keep doing this job that I hate. And we all been there. Like we all had jobs that we hated. I mean, that's our inner kid telling us like, what are you doing? Like, go do that thing that you wanted to do, right? However, we got obligations. We got to pay to play on Earth, and I tell it to everybody, which is weird concept for me because it's true. I just can't get around that. Why are we paying to play on this Earth, which just is the culmination or the beginning of struggle for a lot of people out there? 80+%, I would say, maybe struggling out there. But anyways, I'm taking a sip of my drink. So you don't want to be struggling and trying to start a new business or trying to start a new career because you're gonna be stuck in competitive mode. You're not going to be creative. And essentially what that means is you're not going to be present enough to enjoy the experience or to double down on learning something because you continue to think about your suffering and your pain, which is holding you back because you need that money in order to survive. So that's why it's always important to take care of yourself, always. And the way you do this is by eliminating that variable. So if you're saying I have no experience in cybersecurity, where do I start? That's why it's a two-part question for me. Because first is, are you okay with finances? Are you making ends meet right now? Yes or no? And if it's yes, perfect. Keep doing what you're doing there. Because here's the second part of it. And the second part of it is the hustling phase. I was just talking to a good friend of mine about hustling. And he was like, oh, it has a negative experience. And I was like, for you? But hustling is a hustle, right? So now if you're confident or you're comfortable, let me just say that, you have money coming in, you're taking care of your bills. Yeah, maybe it's not the money that you want right now. So maybe don't focus on that, right? Just make sure that, hey, all your bills are getting paid. You got money on the table. You got money on the table. Jesus, you got food on the table. You got a roof over your head, and everything is good with the world, right? Just be grateful to be living. Be grateful to have food. Be grateful to have money to provide for yourself and your family. That's number one. And then if you're there, you're like, yep, I'm good. I got this 9 to 5. It sucks, but I'm doing it. Why? Because I got to check these boxes, which is fine. Right. So now that you are in a place of comfort, you're not struggling, you're not thinking about money, that puts you in a great spot. And not only that, but it puts you in a powerful spot because now that you're comfortable, now you have time to think. And that is everything. Thinking is everything. Having the time to think is powerful. Because when you have the time to think, you have the time to be creative, which is even more powerful than thinking. If you can think creatively, ooh, you are a dangerous person. But if you can stay in that space, the more you can stay in that space, the more dangerous you will be. And dangerous in a good way, not a negative connotation. If you're thinking about dangerous as a negative connotation, go reflect. But anyways, that's really what it is. Now that you have time to be creative and your time is not spent on thinking about struggling, now the magic begins, right? You're like, yep, I'm good. I'm making ends meet. I'm happy, right? My family's happy because we're living together. We got food. We got money. Yeah, it's not whatever goals you have for yourself for the, for the year or the month. But hey, I'm good. I'm good right now. And I will be if I continue on this path. It's just, I'll be good, right? It will keep all this stuff good. All right, keep doing that. Now, this is where the real work begins. Because what I want you to do now is going to be a little crazy. Because now that you have the time to think or the freedom of thought, I need you to stay creative because now you're saying, I have no experience in cybersecurity. I have another, I don't have to worry about money. So where do I start? All right, where do you start? Well, you start with yourself again, because I want to make sure that you really want this, right? Now that you feel comfortable and you're like, yeah, I don't gotta, I don't gotta die to survive, or I gotta survive to die, or whatever, I don't know. I'm good. Then now you gotta focus, use your time to do absolutely everything that you need to do on a daily basis in order to build that experience. So here's the beauty of it. It's all dependent upon you. Isn't that crazy? So if you're playing around with it and you're like, I have no experience in cybersecurity, so I'm gonna just chill, probably watch a few YouTube videos about cyber, talk to my friends that are in the field. It's all good, you know. I mean, that's fine. But you really haven't dug in. You really haven't took the ideal that you are that thing. Because if you are saying, I am cybersecurity, right? I want that. I already am that thing. Well, you need to do something every day, every second, right? In order to bridge that gap. Because you have a gap right now, you have no security, and then you want to get to a lot of security. So, what are you doing to bridge that gap? So, what I'm trying to tell you is the more things you do to bridge that gap, the more things you do to learn security every day, the faster you will bridge that gap. And if you're thinking, oh, that's going to take a long time. Well, no, how much time do you have? Like, what are you doing every day? What time are you waking up? Right? A lot of people always often say, I don't have enough time to do that stuff. I don't have enough time to start a new career. Well, guess what? Make the time. You have to make the time. And if you think you have no time, then you're not going to have no time. But if you think you have all the time, or if you think I can manage my time, then guess what? You're going to find time all the time. And one of the things I did, I did, in order to find time myself was to write down what am I doing on a daily basis. So I used to do that a while back as far as an exercise. If I thought I didn't have any time, I would write down, all right, what time am I waking up? What am I doing after I wake up? Right? The whole thing. What am I eating? When am I brushing my teeth? Right? All this stuff. Am I going to work? Right? Where am I working? How long does it take me to drive there? Just to break down everything in, I wouldn't want to say, you can break it down as, hour by hour, 30 minutes by 30-minute plays. It all depends how details you want to get. The point is that you want to write down everything that you're doing on a daily basis so you can identify those patterns. And then you're going to look at that and be like, man, I'm waking up at 9. I'm rolling out of bed, brushing my teeth. I'm not even getting breakfast because I'm already late. I'm jumping in my car. I'm commuting for about 30 minutes or maybe an hour, depending where you live in the world. I get to work, same job I had for 10 years, 5 years, 20. I'm doing what I got to do there. And I go back home. And then I sit on the couch, watch TV, hang out. I don't know, do something, right? There's always something. So at the end of this little exercise, you're going to find out, you're going to be like, damn, I did actually have a lot more time than I thought I did. Number one. And then number two, you can identify your patterns and you can see like, man, I'm lazy as shit. And then you got to make a decision, because if you're like, yeah, I'm lazy as shit, but I can change it because there's a lot of time here that I can get back. If I wake up at 5 or 6 and then meditate and then eat and then, do all these things to set me up, to set myself up for success. And then I still got, all right, let me go to work 8 hours. Boom. Can I get out earlier? Right. All these things. Right. And then after that, what am I doing when I get home? And why am I doing these things? You can start identifying that. You will start to identify that you have a lot more time than you think. And then you can use that to redesign your life as far as getting your time back. And now you're waking up earlier, and in the morning, now you're doing things that are conducive to your success. Now you're waking up and you're logging into your Cyber Freedom Fighters community, and you're hanging out with us. And not only that, but we have a whole cybersecurity masterclass that you're taking. And you wake up early, you get 30 minutes or an hour in there after you do everything you have to do for yourself. And then you still got time to go to work. And you've done all this stuff way before you went to work. And you're doing it because you want to build that experience fast. Now that is how you get experience with no experience. You just hustle. This is the mindset that I love teaching. I call it the aha moment, because we all been there, right? Every time I had an aha moment in my life, something epic happened. And you can probably think about that as well in your life. When was the last time you had an aha moment? How many aha moments, right? So I like to work with all the members in our Cyber Freedom Fighters community, because I want to see if they can increase their aha moments when we're talking about mindset. And aha moments for me, it means something. It means aligning myself to my focus. And then the H is hustling to whatever. If I have no experience in cybersecurity and I align to myself to that focus, then guess what? I'm going to get as fast as I can that experience in cybersecurity. And if you're like, I have no experience in cybersecurity, well, I'm in our masterclass. It takes 6 weeks to learn how to do any assessment or how to assess anything in the world. And like I said many times, cyber is lucrative. You can use cyber or you can be in cyber. And if you want a job in cybersecurity, then you are in cyber, which means that it's awesome. If you can come in cyber and be able to assess anything at any time, they're like, hey, we got this thing called cybersecurity maturity model, blah, blah, CMMC, blah, blah, which is actually a hot new buzzword in cybersecurity or the cyber domain today. And it's happening. There's this CMMC framework that got developed by who knows who. And pretty much they're using that for any business who does work with the government to make sure that they're protecting government's data properly. And if you don't have all these check boxes that they're looking for, then the government is less likely to do business with you. Now, we teach you how to do an assessment from the ground up. And not only any assessment, we teach you to do any kind of assessment, because there's, in the industry, people just make up assessments all the time. They call it something else and they tell you it's something else. And then when you look at it, if you have any sort of experience in cyber, you would look at these things and you're like, yeah, we're already doing that. Like, why did you create the same thing and give it a different name? And that's pretty much what CMMC is. I'm sorry, I said it, but yes, CMMC is just another assessment that we've done in the past that are looking at security controls or looking at security for businesses. And all they had to do was just say, yeah, just do that. We're already been doing it, but they created this whole thing. It's a whole ecosystem and it's pretty lucrative. If you want to jump in there, then this is where I'm teaching our cybersecurity assessment master class is how to do this assessment, but any type of assessments out there. Maybe your medical industry and you got healthcare information that you want to protect. HIPAA, we got you, right? Credit card information, PCI, DSS, we got you, right? It doesn't matter. ISO, maybe your big business, yeah, ISO, whatever, man. Or maybe you're military and you got stuff like compliance inspection, CCRIs, or this other thing that is just another compliance inspection, but they created in the military or the government just because they wanted something new to target to use, which they call it CCORI, COCORI. And I'm like, man, you guys are ridiculous. But it's all good. It's all good. You can dance all you want, but at the end of the day, security is all that matters. So there's many slices or there's many ways to skin a cat. I just choose to focus on the easiest way to get there and the easiest way to add value in cybersecurity, and that's what I focus on because I don't like the fluff. It's like, all right, what are you trying to do? Well, I just want to secure this business, or I want to make sure this business is secure. All right, let's go do an assessment. And then that's when everything starts breaking down. Oh, which one and why and how? Well, don't worry about that. That's my job. I'll figure out if they're secure or not because I know how to do cybersecurity assessments. I don't, and a lot of people, right, in our domain, they know how to do one assessment. And not only, they know how to do PCI DSS, or they know how to do CMMC, or they know how to do HIPAA, or they know how to do GRC, or they know how to do SOC compliance. And I'm like, okay, that's great. But then when you take that same person that does SOC 2 assessments and you say, all right, can you do an audit for this bank? They're like, well, I have no idea how to do that. And I'm like, what? I thought you were cyber. So that's what I mean, right? That, for me, I just need one cybersecurity assessment to rule them all. And that's why I have a master class just to teach that to all our cyber freedom fighters. So when you sign up to the community, then you have access to this 6-week course that's going to teach you how to do assessments on any type of system or architecture in the cyber domain in the world. I don't care what you got. Critical infrastructures, right? Maybe you're a power company or maybe you're a school. It doesn't matter. I can assess you and I can give you raw results, or I can give you results that matter, actionable results that matter using my process because I've used it for over 20 years. And I know it works. But anyways, that is how you get experience in cybersecurity when you have no experience. First, you have to take care of yourself because nobody else is going to do it better than you. And which means is you got to make sure you're not struggling financially. If you're struggling financially, then you need to solve that problem. And you need to get that money, make ends meet, get comfortable, get grateful, get happy, whatever. But anyways, you make ends meet, you're good. And now that you make ends meet, that unlocks you to have freedom of thought, which in my book is everything. I mean, that's why the name is Cyber Freedom Fighters. Freedom using cyber. Let's go. And that's just the way that is, right? So as I was talking about Cyber Freedom Fighters, something popped up, so it distracted me. Squirrel. But anyways, those are the things, right? You want to take care of yourself so you're not struggling financially. And then when you're ready to take on, when you're no longer struggling, now your focus should be on getting that high income skill set. And the way you do that is just get out there, learn, right? What high income skill set do you want, right? In cybersecurity, and once you do that, then you do everything that you need to do every day to make that happen, right? To live that dream because you're already in it. You made the decision that you want to be in cybersecurity. So that's great. That's a powerful decision. The I am is powerful. So once you start saying I am blah, 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 those 3 words right there are very, very, very powerful. So that's why I don't even like to say it. I am, and I didn't even say it, right? I am cyber, and we know this because I'm an international cyber coach. Now, for you, once you say I am blah, 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 then you're making that decision to actually, you can just start doing that right now, which means go out there, find information, learn it based on your craft, and learn your craft as fast as possible. If you can learn your craft as fast as possible, then you can start making money as fast as possible. And that's why it's like, and that's why I want to tell you, like, the first step is, hey, are you okay financially? Because if you're not okay financially, then you're not going to dedicate the time to learning something properly, because you're always going to be, you're thinking about money. You're thinking about that struggle. Like, man, struggle. Man, I don't want to learn this. I'm out. I gotta go do this thing, right? Or else I can't eat, or else I can't live. And that's just the way it is, right? So that's why I want you to focus on securing those bonds, right? Like, I was hurting for money, but not anymore. Now I'm good. All right, great. You know, and if it means staying in that shitty job for maybe another few more months, then so be it. It's all good. You've been there for already how long? So what's another, 6 months, or less, right, for you? It's paying the bills. It's checking the boxes. That doesn't mean you got to go in there and volunteer for every damn task that comes up either. You know, because are they, unless they're giving you more money, right? So if they're like, hey, we'll pay you if you do XYZ, and you're like, yeah, that takes another hour, but I'll do it because that's great money. Boom. But if you're going in there and somebody's like, hey, I need you to do this. I know you don't normally do this. Do you have time? Pretty much they're trying to tell you to do it. And you're like, no, man, I gotta do my work here. Sorry. This is what pays the bills. So do that. Do what pays the bills and nothing else, really. And I know that's hard for a lot of us. It used to be hard for me. I used to be in that corporate world many moons ago. And if anybody needed, I got you. Boom. I got you. Which is great. I was able to get promoted faster. Um, I was able to make more money. So it is a strategy. But if you don't want to work there anymore, then why would you put so much more energy in there? So use it to check the box. And you're checking the box. So check the box. Get your time back, but more especially get your freedom of thought back. That way you can use that freedom of thought to actually focus on what you really want to do. What you really want to do. And if it's cybersecurity, then let's go. I have a 6-week program. I'm going to teach you how to assess anything in this vast cyber universe. It doesn't matter. Boom. By the time the 6 weeks is over, you should be the scariest person in this cyber world, because that's the people who I like to breed personally, right? If you are in cyber, then you're going to be the best cyber professional ever, guaranteed, because we got you. And in cybersecurity is the same thing. That's why I wanted to focus in on that, because for me, I use 3 things in order to help pretty much all my community members. Is I make sure in cyber, or in cyber, well, not just a cyber, right? So it doesn't matter if you're an IT professional. It doesn't matter if you're cybersecurity. It doesn't matter if you're a manager or a leader in cyber. Doesn't matter if you're an electrical engineer. Maybe you're making electronic devices for cyber. Maybe you're a software developer. Maybe you're making software for cyber. It doesn't matter, because these 3 things will help you. And if you're like, well, I'm a business, well, I can guarantee your business in cyber. And if your business is not using cyber, then you're leaving money on the table, because you're not taking advantage of cyber to accelerate you. So I focus on 3 things. I focus on identifying problems. I focus on fixing those problems. And I focus on communicating those problems, or selling the dream, as I call it. Because if you find, let's talk about cybersecurity in cyber. If you're a cybersecurity professional, now you got experience in cyber, you took our 6-week cybersecurity assessment master class, you're welcome. And you're out there slaying it, 6 figures and beyond, guaranteed. and you're chilling, right, in cyber. Then, man, these things keep popping up, like keep distracting me, like a squirrel. What were we talking about here? Somebody type. What was I talking about? Oh man. But anyways, no, for real. Type in there. No, I'm just get that chat going. I love it. I love it. I love it. And that's another thing. So if you can log in here and meet us on a weekly basis, then you can chat in the community while I'm doing this live, as far as the podcasting live, and we can just have fun. You know, you can we got emojis that you can utilize. You can heart stuff, right? Um, so all that stuff is fun. So I like the interaction. So if you got time, if you can make it, join our community, cyberfreedomfighters.com, and it'll take you straight to our page. And if you're not a member, then you can sign up. We are running a special right now, like really special. It's like beta. If you're used to cyber, then you're used to beta pricing. You know, cyber. Every time we launch a piece of software, it's beta. You can use it for free. So that's I'm essentially doing the same thing. It's not a game, but it is a game in life actually. But if you come to our community, I'm offering this at super discount, super discount. It's like crazy, you know, it's like crazy. So I only got it out there for $1, because I love you guys and I want everybody to start getting super success right away, you know. And if you're like, I don't have any experience, or maybe I'm hurting, then maybe this is what you need in order to change your life and transform your life to live your dream. So that's why I wanted to start there. I want to start there to offer everybody that opportunity to change their life. Now, if you don't take this opportunity for $1, then you're really not serious about changing your life. Because if this is you and you're like, man, I love cybersecurity, or I want to be in cyber or cybersecurity, and I got a 6-week program masterclass where I'm teaching you everything. It's like 30 years of me doing cyber, you know, 20 plus years, 30 years of me doing cyber. Like, that is the masterclass. And that's going to be, that's our first masterclass, because it teaches you the foundation of cyber. It teaches you how to find those problems. And if we're talking about cybersecurity, then finding problems in cybersecurity is called identifying vulnerabilities, identifying flaws, identifying just issues. But normally they're called vulnerabilities. And these things are tied to anything in cyber. It could be tied to software, and we in cyber might say that vulnerability is exploitable or not, or whatever, on this piece of software, this version, this software name, and that's a vulnerability. But you can also have a vulnerability, let's say, with your people. Maybe you're concerned that somebody might be leaking business proprietary information inside your company. Most stuff, right? Then you have a vulnerability, right? You have a people vulnerability somewhere. So what's something that you could put in place right now in order to make sure that your people are good to go, right? They're not going to do anything crazy based on their life. Maybe they're struggling financially, so now they're stealing a whole bunch of shit. Or you never know what's going on, right, in people's lives. So you always want to protect yourself and your business and your people from people as well. And this is called, in cyber world, insider threat. Looking for moles, right? Witch hunting, you know, back in the day. Hunt these witches down. They're different. No, they're just awesome, right? You think witches are awesome? Say yes or no. I don't know. Do you think a witch is awesome? Type it in chat. You know, is a witch awesome? Do you see a witch as being badass based on what her abilities were? And I mean, back then, right, they actually thought witches were bad because they burned them at the stake. I mean, there's so many movies. You know, it was the witch trials. Like, they had so much. And at the end of the day, where they were just different. Maybe they had gifts and abilities that we did not comprehend. as humans. So naturally, we do what we always do as humans. That, if we don't understand something, let's destroy it. So that's probably what happened back then at the Salem witch trials or wherever. Anytime they did witch hunting, I have no idea. Um, I'm just saying, right? So, do you think a witch is bad? It all depends, right? Because that person could use her abilities or their abilities for good or evil. Right? So just like cyber, if once you took the master class and you know how to find vulnerabilities everywhere in every system, anywhere, you're gonna be like Rain Man. Oh, you're gonna be seeing all these things, and you're gonna be seeing vulnerabilities fly at you. You're gonna be seeing threats. You're gonna be like, oh my god, I don't feel safe anymore, which is cool. You shouldn't. I'm just playing. But I'm not. But anyways, we always trust but verify in the cyber world, especially in security. I trust that you're telling me the truth, but I'm going to verify always. But anyways, so that's a little tip for you. So, that's kind of what happened to the witches, and that's what happened in cybersecurity, right? You can use cybersecurity and now you know how to find flaws and vulnerabilities, and actually you can break into stuff. I mean, it's awesome. I love it, right? So now if you use it for bad, now they start labeling you differently. And if you use it for good, then they label you something else. But at the end of the day, you're just using that one skill set. You're just using that one skill set of finding vulnerabilities. I'm a cybersecurity assessor. So as an assessor, I can go be bad and use the vulnerabilities to my advantage. Or on the other hand, I can be good and I can use what I find to tell the people, hey, there's holes over here. You might want to fix this. Because if you don't, this is what's going to happen. Like the Cerberus, the three-headed dog is going to, yeah, exactly, hero villain. That is true. I just got a note here, a chat from one of my members here. That's the difference between a hero or a villain. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's true because the hero or the villain, they could do good or bad. They got skill sets. They have high income skill sets. However, what makes a hero a hero and what makes a villain a villain? Really, that's it. And I'm not going to answer that for you. I'm going to answer for myself. I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking about, right? Because for me, the difference is in the value. Whether or not you help people or not. It's that simple. Really, right? Because if you use cyber positively, then you're helping more people out there. You're using that high income skill set that we teach you in our master class. There it is again, right? We teach you that skill set so you can find vulnerabilities in anywhere, anything. It doesn't matter if you got a critical infrastructure over here, you got a boat over here, you got a tank over there. I don't care. You have a limousine over here. Like, you got banks over here. You got healthcare providers over here. You got educational systems over here. It's all in cyber. Even your house, your car. I remote start my car. We're in cyber, baby. And that's a good way to think about it. That's also another question that I also get is like, what is cyber? I met with my mentor slash coach this week, and we were talking about business things and funnels and sales and marketing and all this cool stuff. And for me, it's cool because those are cyber business systems. And I work with a lot of business owners in cyber as well, because maybe they have a cybersecurity business or a cyber IT business, or maybe they just got a business, concrete business, or anything. And a lot of times I'm like, all right, so what are you doing? What do you mean? I'm like, what do you do in your business? And let's say they have a concrete business. I'm like, all right. And they come to me because they know I do computer stuff. And they're like, hey, I heard you were good at computers. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? What do you need? Computers equals cyber. So anything electronic. really. It's cyber. If it's electronic, it's cyber. Okay. So they come to me and they're like, "Hey, I heard you're pretty good with these things called computers." I'm like, "Yeah." All right. So what are you trying to do? And they're like, "Well, I got this business. I do concrete, and I need to grow my business. I want to start it. Whatever, right?" And I'm like, "All right, yeah. You trying to grow and start your business? I get it. Yep, not a big deal." So what do you have right now? Where's your website? What? What's that? What's a website? Oh my god. So this is why we have cyber freedom fighters. Because I'm like, okay, let's start. You know, let's start there. Like, tell me more about you, right? And then boom, then, there goes the whole story. So I get a lot of conversations that way. Either people either find me because they know I do computers, as what they say. That's why mom and dad call me. They call me when they need something worked on using computers. Outside of that, I don't hear from. It's all good. It's all good. But that's really it, right? So I get people who want to start a business or want to grow their business. So we love using business systems in there to make them go faster. For me, in my business, consulting or coaching, doesn't matter. I use it the same. I still build cyber business systems in here, or I use cyber business systems. It's better to say integrate, right? I integrate cyber business systems in businesses so that you can move faster, do things better, greater, right? Make more money, all that good stuff. So going back to my mentor and coach that I met with earlier today, had about an hour conversation with them. And, as I called it, it was a murder board because I'm comfortable with that being from the corporate world. We have plenty of murder boards where everybody knew something was up for, let's say, a debate, or we were trying to put a proposal together or a contract together, or we wanted to identify a new service, whatever, right? And we all just needed to throw darts at it. And so that's what a murder board is, right? You get everybody in the company one day sitting down around this one topic, and everybody just goes to town. It's like a roast. It's like a roasting, in the comedy world. They just roast Tom Brady, right? Not too long ago. So it's the same thing. So we roast things. So a murder board is a roasting. So that's what they did. I put some of the things that I was doing in front of my coach and my mentors, and I said, "What do you all think?" And they pretty much, they got tons of experience doing other things. So they were like, "Yep, this is what we think about all this." And we had that conversation. And one of the opening conversations that I had, with them, I've been using cyber a lot, like cyber, cyber, cyber. And this one dude comes off the gate and he's like, "So what is that? I don't even know what it is." And I'm like, "Whoa, why you coming at me, bro?" But anyways, I mean, that left me with a huge impart, just that having that little minor conversation, because it's the same conversation that I get from students or that I get from people that I work with, that maybe they have a concrete business, but they have no idea what cyber is. They're not cyber savvy, right? They've never, they have an iPhone or they have a phone, right? Let's say. Um, However, that's to the extent of it. They know how to get on a computer, they know how to send emails, how to browse and surf, right? Of course you do. How else are you gonna be on social media? Right? So we know how to do these things to interact with the cyber world, but there's so much to it. And nowadays, if your business is not 100% taking advantage of cyber and you don't have like a cyber person that you're working with and that's helping you accelerate, then yeah, you're leaving tons of money on the table, because there's this whole ecosystem out there, this whole world, really. If you think of Earth, the way I think of Earth, and then I think of cyber as a shield over Earth, or this invisible shield, let's say, or it's not a shield, but this invisible, I like to say shield just because a shield puts a bubble around it, right? So think about a bubble around Earth, and now think about that bubble being invisible. Now you don't see it, but it drives everything, right? This invisible shield is helping you make long distance phone calls. This invisible shield is helping you send your giant rocket, right, to the moon and back, right? This invisible shield, this aura. Yeah. Woo, I love that. I love that. I love that. You see, that's where you got to come into these live Q&As and ask me anything. So remember, just drop aura. This aura around Earth, and that aura is driving everything. It allows you to remote control or remote start, remote control. If you got a Tesla, I can guarantee that. Yeah, I'll remote control that Tesla and drive it into a wall. You're welcome. Welcome to cyber world. No, we're all friends here. We're all friends. But that's really what it was, right? So it's this aura that you can't see. It's invisible, but it's all around us. Is this thing all around us, and we see reminiscences of it, right? We're like, oh, what is that? Well, that's a cell tower. What does that cell tower do? Well, that's how your cell phones work. Without these cell towers that are linked to intricate networks that, again, you don't see because they're hidden away in data centers or in rooms somewhere that's locked and cold and protected. So you don't see any of that stuff. You just see a cell tower, but you don't see that cell tower, the wires connecting, driving it, right, all the way back to the data center, which we call a data center, which is a big room that's controlled and all that good stuff where we store all our computers, essentially, in order to drive networks, in order to provide you with a service. Let's say, oh, I want to log into DMV and update my vehicle registration if you're in America. Then, yeah, that's because that's possible, right? Somebody had to do that in cyber, but you don't see that, right? You don't see this computer that's sitting in the middle of nowhere and delivering you that visual that you're looking at. So there's a lot to make that happen. So all these things are cyber. That aura. I love it. I love that aura, cyber aura, right? You can't see it, but it's there. And when national catastrophes happen on Earth, now we're talking about threats. We're talking about cyber threats, right? A cyber threat, natural disasters. That's a big cyber threat for anybody because computers don't like to get wet. And if you have a lot of computers in an area where there's hurricanes, then you're probably going to run into some issues. However, because we're good cyber people, we know these things and we identify these threats ahead of time. And if our reaction is to, yeah, we still want to keep these computers there, then all right, so what are we doing to make sure when that hurricane comes through, we're still good? And that's all part of cyber game, the cyber game of life. So really, that really is one of the biggest questions I get, right? What is cyber, right? And I even got it from my coach and mentor, from a whole team of them at that. I was like, what do you guys want? I was like, you guys are cyber. You guys are in cyber. What? But it didn't dawn on me, right? That the cyber word is not 100% yet. I've been using it for a very long time, right? 30 plus years, cyber. However, now cyber is becoming more mainstream. We got social media, we got Internet of Things. And you're like, what is the Internet of Things? Whoa, do you have a smart TV that you can connect to your wireless or connect to your network? Yep, then you're good, right? That is the Internet of Thing. Do you have your phone? Can you remote start your phone? Can you remote start your car? Yeah, Internet of Things. Do you have a smart refrigerator? Yep, Internet of Things. Do you have a thermostat that's smart, that's telling you that you can remote, control from anywhere in the world? Internet of Things, right? And we're calling these Internet of Things because these are just devices that used to be standalone, and it was part of cyber this whole time. But we had a fridge, and the fridge had electrical components in it that was cyber. It was making that fridge work to some degree or another. So that fridge was cyber, but we didn't notice, right? We're like, oh man, that's cool. I got these little buttons in the front. I get my ice. Sweet. Beautiful. We're good. But now what we did was we just connected that bad boy. We just said, hey, I want to be able to put a camera in here inside the fridge so that if I'm out doing groceries and I forget, like, man, do we have milk? Do we have eggs? Then guess what? Let me pop into my phone that I always have with me, and I'm going to open up this app. It's going to connect through cyber. Again, you can't see it, but it's sending out these things, and it's connecting to your fridge at home. And now that you get access to this camera, and you looking around at your fridge, and like, man, I got to clean this fridge out, right? And then you're like, yeah, I got no milk in there. So then you're like, sweet. That before I go home, let me stop in the store, pick up some milk, and then make it home. And then be like, here you go, milk. And everybody's like, wow, yeah, thanks for buying milk. We had none. And I'm like, I know. We got you. Here's some eggs too. But anyways, I mean, that is cyber. So cyber is that is anything electrical. Anything electrical is in cyber, whether it's connected or not. Because if it's not connected right now, in the future, it could be, right? Just because nobody has done it yet doesn't mean we're like, all right, you're not connected, so you're not in cyber. I had actual professionals in the industry, cybersecurity industry, talk about these things with me a while back, many moons ago. And we would get into debates because I would just sit there and I was like, all right, let's talk. Tell me what's the problem. And they're like, well, I got this one device. It's not connected. Blah, blah, blah. This is not part of cyber. Blah. And I'm like, yeah, that's a great outlook, great perspective, but I got to break it to you. See these blinky lights? LEDs. Light emitting diodes. They connect electronically to the circuit board, which is part of an intricate cyber system. But anyways, I had cybersecurity pros on all levels tell me otherwise. And I always stand on my own 2 feet, always. And I always tell them, hey, man, sorry, but this is why, right? And that's where we're at, right? In life. We're seeing things that weren't connected before. Now they're connected. They didn't have much electronics in them, but now they have a lot of electronics in them. And now we're doing that to everything. We as a human race, we're going out there and connecting more things to cyber because we see the advantage to it, right? We see like, man, I can control my thermostat and I'm not even home. I can close my doors, and I'm not even home. Like all these things offer a certain level of comfort and a certain level of capability to us as humans. So now I don't got to have this, old school lock and key. Somebody can just walk up to the door and be like, man, there's no keys in here. Yeah, I know. Wait for this. Boom. It just opens as I walk into the door, but it doesn't open when you walk into the door. And they're like, why? How did you do that? Well, I have a camera with artificial intelligence built in. And as I'm walking up to the door, it's providing fake facial recognition. And based on that facial recognition, it's opening the door for those that have access, and those who do not, nothing happens. But anyways, this is all cyber, right? This is all cyber and cyber systems and how people, right, we can work better with cyber and against it. So every time somebody says, I don't even know what cyber is, I'm like, damn, all right. I don't know. Do I got to change my messaging, right? Maybe call it computer freedom fighters. I don't know. What do you think? Drop some noise, make some chat, or make some noise in the chat now, and tell me what you think. And if you're watching this later, because we're recording this and then we're going to release the podcast to our Cyber Freedom Fighters community, then you can log into our school community and get access to all this as well. And not only that, but you can ask questions in our community directly to me, directly to all the other cybersecurity pros or cyber pros, or just anybody that we have in there that's about that cyber life. And, we'll have fun and we'll go from there. and we'll just try to level up each other. I mean, that's what I try to do. I got a lot of experience, and I just want to share that experience, because I know it's valuable. And I've been in the game for a long time, 30 plus years. I've done everything in cyber under the sun. Like, maybe that should be a thing. Next time, hey, just ask, hey, what do you think? Right. So that's why I like having these AMAs or ask me anything in addition to the podcast, right? So it's more like a live/podcast event. So that, that's kind of how I'm doing it now. And today was more of a focus on cybersecurity and answering questions, but also talking about cybersecurity. So I think we did that. And I have two other seminars or workshops that that I like to take and add to the podcast as well. So next week, tell you a little bit about something we got going on next week. So next week on Monday, we are launching another session just like this, where it's Ask Me Anything, but it's more on cyber mindset. And I like to share my framework, which is the aha moment, 3-step framework to change your life in cyber, or just change your life in general. But since we're cyber, I like to focus on cyber and using that to improve your life and your well-being or whatever, mind, body, spirit, right? The way I see it is mind, body, spirit. So I like using cyber to improve my mind, body, spirit, even though I don't need to use it to improve myself, right? But I want to move faster, right? I want to do things better. So I want to use cyber. So maybe I want a robot that's washing dishes and cooking food versus me having to waste my own time, trying to do it. I'd rather be hanging out with my kids and my wife, rather than cooking food or cleaning the house or all these things, right? If a robot can do it, then I'm I'm all for it. Come and clean my house. And that's something that where we're going in the future, right? I joke about Terminator because it's one of my favorite movies. And if you haven't watched Terminator, then that's your homework. Go watch Terminator. Go watch all the series, even the old ones that look cringy or dingy, whatever you want to call it. And check it out. It's great. It's all about 100% about cyber. The next cyber movie that I love is Matrix, right? I love this Matrix because it's 100% on cyber, and that movie's great, because I'm probably going to talk about that movie on Monday when we talk about cyber mindset, because there's so many mindset nuggets in that movie that I want to pull out for everybody. So I'm probably going to do that. And then the next, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, wait a minute. Yeah, but anyways, Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm going to be doing another meeting or another seminar or workshop, whatever you want to call it. I think they're more workshops, because I like the interaction with a workshop versus a seminar. Where we're going to be talking about or focusing on actual businesses and how do we integrate business systems into any business out there. And so that's a good one. If you're a business owner, you can come and ask me anything about your business, what cyber business systems you can use to move faster, do things better, and essentially scale your business. So again, if you're not using business systems to do that, then you're leaving money on the table. And at the end of the day, it's all good either way. If you're happy doing it, then hey man, just keep living your life, right? But if you're not happy, you want some change, then that's why we are here for you as a cyber freedom fighter community, to help you slay it fast, because time is precious and of the essence, and time waits for no one. So we have these events coming up. Again, we have so weekly. What I'm trying to do is remain consistent. So weekly, we have a cybersecurity workshop. It's like this one, Ask Me Anything. If you are maybe working on a cyber project and you want some advice, then let's shoot it, right? Tell me what's up, and I'll do my best to help you. So that's what these are for. Maybe you want to get started in cybersecurity or cyber. You don't know how, then come in here, ask me anything. I'll tell you how to get started as we did today. So hopefully that helped you. And so every week we're doing cybersecurity workshops. We're also doing cyber business workshops. And then finally, we're doing cyber mindset workshops. So those are the three that we have going on from a week to week basis. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the workshop and I'm taking my podcast and I'm putting them together so that we can have a workshop slash podcast style event. And in the future, I'm hoping that we have case studies. I was thinking about it and I was like, yeah, I mean, I call them case studies in the cyber world, but anyways, it's just work, right? So you can bring your work here and say, hey, I'm trying to do this. I'm struggling over here and I need some advice doing this. All right, well, boom, here you go. Right. And hopefully that, helps you 100% because that's what we're here for, to add mega value to your life using cyber and cyber systems. But anyways, I think that's all we have for today. It's already 111. So that's great. So 111, if you are into synchronicities, peace and love to everyone out there. So I don't have anything further for you. I hope that you, that's right, 111, type it in the chat. Beautiful. So I hope that you found everything valuable. If you did or didn't, then stop in our cyberfreedomfighters.com, cyberfreedomfighters.com. And if you go there, we just actually finished the website for you. So there was something that I was working on last week and I actually finished it. I had a consulting business and I started doing international coaching as a service. So I wanted my own website for that. So I took some time to put that into motion. So now you can actually hit cyberfreedomfighters.com, get to that website. I got videos on there for you, but more importantly, I got tons of buttons on there so that you can click and it takes you to our school community where we actually have the community and all the content, all the free resources for you. You don't got to pay anything else. And I also get that a lot. Once we get in, they ask me, right? Once we get in the community, do we got to pay for anything else? No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that shit to you, right? I don't want to do that to you. So once you get in the community, you have access to all the resources, the master class, all the 3 events, the podcast, all the questions that anybody may ask in the past. I have a resume, professional resume template on there that I'm also providing for you so that you can use it. Maybe you want to get a better career. So there's so much resources that we're putting in there that I'm doing it purposely. I'm trying to give you everything, right? Like I don't want you to go anywhere else but the Cyber Freedom Fighters community. So I want to add in there so much mega value that you'll be like, man, $1? You crazy? Yes, yes. But anyways, the dollar is only for the first 300 members. Yeah, the first 300, like all right. But the movie 300. That's where I got it from anyway. And I love the number 3. And I love the number 0 and 0 is definitely awesome. Or metaphysical, right? I love it. But anyways, if you are not in the community, then you can access all these things by becoming a member. And if you go there and the prices change, then hopefully the next level up is not too much for you as well, because again, I'm still trying to provide value. But the prices are going to increase from $1 again. Hey, we got to live too. So, $1 is not too bad. I wanted to get with people who actually want that change right now, that transformation. So that's why I set the bar so low to get in, so anybody can get in really. And we can start making magic happen. And again, once we get 300, we're going to change the price. So if you miss out, you miss out. It's all good. You'll still be allowed to get in there afterwards, but it's going to be a little more expensive. But anyways, I wanted to share that with you before we departed here in this episode of Echoes of Cyber Freedom for our international cyber coaching community called Cyber Freedom Fighters. I'm your brother, L. Cruz, and that's it. I don't have anything else for you. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the questions. And I hope that everything we do here adds mega value to your life so that you can live your dream. So that's it. That's all I got for you. Thank you for joining us. If you joined us on this episode, if you didn't get a chance to join us, then thank you for replaying and hearing everything we have. Don't forget to drop your comments and let us know if you want to hear about a specific topic or if you need some help. It doesn't matter. Just hit me up and I'll be here for you, servicing you until the days of my life. So, anyways, all right. Peace and love to everybody out there. It's your brother L, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.